over this decade, we had a lot of artists, like, it isn't too common for music artists that used to have like a few huge albums, and then they'll drop massively as people lost interest in them. But one of the biggest downfalls of all time in music is Ed Sheeran as well. Like, Ed Sheeran used to be a best-selling singer. Okay, his albums used to sell millions and millions of copies as well. Okay, but it seems that Pray is not selling, and we saw how the pre-release singles were performing. They weren't performing all too well. They weren't doing too well. So yeah, there was one called Azam, didn't really perform too much. Sapphire didn't perform too well, and I think this is just a problem of the music industry in a nutshell. And this has always been a problem in the music industry. You have your huge singers, but a lot of singers they have a few huge albums and then they just drop. It was this way in the 80s and 90s as well, and even the 2000s. You had so many huge singers and huge songwriters that had these few huge hit albums, but they disappeared over like the 4th to 6th to 7th albums as well. Okay, the downfall is so insane. Mind you, this is a man that who used to rule the toy tents and he almost 700K first week sales as well. Yeah. The same man who had one of the biggest hits of all time. Really sad that he's not the role he used to be. And not everybody is a Queen or Michael Jackson or Taylor Swift. Okay, that can have or of course Elton John as well. That can have this super longevity and have albums sell and be around for decades and have albums sell millions and millions of copies as well. Okay, same thing of Eminem. Eminem, of course, stopped making music, but the reason why Eminem stopped making music because I think he realized his newer albums were not as selling well as they used to as his older albums. Most of Eminem's most popular songs are still his older songs. His newer songs are just not as successful as his older songs. And if it can happen to the GOAT of rappers, it can happen to anybody, if you really think about it. Ed Sheeran isn't really that special, and I think we really see this now. Ed Sheeran's new album, Pray, is a flop. It's a failure as well, okay? And you've seen this a lot with many huge music artists this year, and also last year too. We mentioned a lot of them last year too. But this year you had Period flop. That was Kesha's new album, another artist that used to have huge hits back in the day. Katy Perry last year as well, but that was a kind of more sad downfall as well. Ed Sheeran is kind of more like the quiet downfall. Ward's, abortion album flopped. Oh, yeah, who's shocked that anyone listened to that? Ava Max's album bombed as well. Rizzo's new album bombed, but that's to be expected because no one likes Rizzo. But absolutely, the same man who had one of the biggest hits of all time now is struggling to even pass 80K units in the first week. And people will say, but that's physical copies, why does that matter, but even streams, like, if you look at the first day of, Pray, and this is how his new album is performing, it's not doing too well. It's down to 8 million on day 4. 8 million on day 4, okay? This is honestly kind of embarrassing for a huge artist like Ed Sheeran, not really doing too well. Like, some of these songs, like, at the bottom, like, 300,000 total streams. I know it's only 4 days of streams, but Ed Sheeran used to have these huge, massive amounts of streams. Let's look at the most streamed songs of all time on Spotify. He still has, like, 3 or 4 songs in the top 100 as well. And now his albums are just not doing too well. Heck, his big single, Azam, doesn't even have 300 million streams. Isn't as bad and embarrassing as Sarah Larson, obviously, but, still kind of pretty sad. The decline of Ed Sheeran is really a huge decline as well, okay? A huge decline in sales.